forth.
Yeah.
We also met Inner Strength Records around that time too, so we kind of just we eventually talked out a deal with them, and that's when we finally decided it was like time to release the album. It took another 8 months after signing the deal with them, which wasn't a problem.
Deal with who again?
Inner Strength Records.
Inner Strength Records. So you guys are signed?
It was just a 1-album deal.
Just a 1-album deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there are
There's a
label,
lot
and
of
they've been
these
pushing the
labels.
Embers Gathering album.
There's a lot of these labels that people sign on to. Like, I don't even know. Like, I've never heard of them. You know, that could just be my lack of knowledge in the community. But, you know, some of them, too, like, they don't look like they're, like... Their online presence doesn't look like it's huge, which, you know, nowadays you have to take that into big account with your online. It just seems like there's so many. Like, what are they offering? What are they offering to you when you
Different labels, different things, different sizes of labels.
So what was that label offering you guys for this 1-album sign on?
We're not gonna discuss details of like contract. We can speak generally about it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just curious because you know I'm being in a local band before too. You know, we always thought about what if we were offered something like that to sign on for an album. So I guess not to discuss details, we could say what are some things that you would look out for that you would want in that sort of deal for a 1-album deal. What would you look for that you would want in that?
Support.
I think
as in how from that label?
In all facets. In whatever way they can.
So what
a label wants to work with us in terms of splitting profits made on art that we've created, which we had the album completely done. We had the media package, all the music videos were already shot when we approached the label. So we're like bringing a product to them, and we're like in a way letting them in on it. And
so is it kind of like a promotional deal?
Yeah.
When you're going to a label, you're just looking. Because nobody
for a platform,
because not a lot of bands are going to like labels to look for them to record and do all that stuff for them anymore.
Some though,
right, but most bands,
but not all the time. There's a lot more independent capability.
There's like a producer around every corner. There's somebody with an audio box. You're doing it pretty much yourself. You're just hoping you get a quality product. So you get that quality product, like you guys, you're saying, you have the music videos, you have everything. So then you bring it to the label. So you're just looking for promotion. With a label.
Yeah, and that is a lot of what Inner Strength did for us. They did a lot of promotional like media on like the internet, getting different reviews done, a lot of articles written.
So what did you guys look for? When you looked at that label, what were you looking at? Like, were you looking them up online? Obviously, right?
Yeah.
What were you looking for first? The bands that they have signed currently, or what their Facebook likes were, or what were you looking for?
I've noticed that like more independent and even like some of the slightly larger labels don't really have a lot of like likes or mentions on social media because when like the average listener listens to a band, they're not really thinking of the label that they're putting the record out on. They're thinking more like they're not looking
the band.
Like they're not looking for Unique Leader or Season of Mist or Metal Blade. They're like, oh shit, it's Cannibal Corpse or Deeds of Flesh or whatever band they're looking up. But I mean, we looked at the roster. It was it's like a very mixed roster, which is not a problem because a lot of labels do that.
Who's one of the bigger bands on their label? Is there like John? Look it up. Just look it up. What are they called again?
Inner Strength.
Inner Strength Records.
Can't remember.
So yeah, because that's what I'd probably go look at. I'd probably be like, all right, let's see what other bands I have like signed on there. Okay, this is.
I want to say
like.
I want to say Billy Club Sandwich.
Billy Club Sandwich.
Yeah, I want to say that. But John will either justify me wanting to say that or take a fucking dump on me for saying that.
Our artists, just click on that, I guess. Fleshbore.
Basilica is a thrashier band from because they have like a lot of different, like they'll have the bands that are like death metal and thrash metal, and I think they've had a little bit. I think they have some lighter stuff on there too, from what I remember.
Shout out to Nuclear Desolation and Arabella, our friends from North Carolina and Illinois.
Basilica is also from
Rigtime Vessels,
North Carolina.
So, are you also looking for potential shows or help with any sort of booking with getting on anywhere?
Not
like any sort
specifically
of
with
big
Inner Strength
festivals?
Records. No.
No. But if you went for a future, if you tried for a future deal, would you be looking for something like that? Do you guys have connections like to be able to possibly get us on a festival?
You
or-
know, I mean, we book through an agency. Like, we have a booking agent who
Okay,
does
so
our
you-
tours and stuff.
He's
so
actually the one that introduced me to Jason at Inner Strength.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Because
so you just go separate. So you just have booking agencies that you go to.
we do, yes. There are labels who do most of the booking for their bands. So it's a case by case basis. And if we ended up with a label that did that type of thing, then surely we would be open to doing that and working within the dynamic of that. But
Right.
at this time, it's not a necessity to us.
Do most labels I don't know if you know, but what do you think they like mostly book with the bands that are on their label?
At least a portion.
I think-
they would like to tag them up at least.
I think
Right.
agencies are kind of like another one because
Booking agencies.
because you'll have like a few guys that work at an agency and they have like this entire huge roster of bands that they've been accumulating over the last 20-25 years that they've been a booking agent, and it's more, I would imagine it'd be more money for them to have like 4 or 5 bands on like that he books on one tour than working with a few other guys and having bands that they book on his tour because they could probably make money off of all 5 of those bands going on tour as opposed to 2 of
Just
his bands
2.
going on
That makes
tour.
sense from
Right,
a booking
right.
agency perspective for sure. And I would say with the record label thing, I don't normally see, and I might just not have my eyes open enough, but I couldn't name a bunch of times where a record label put like more than 2 or 3 of their own bands on a roster. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they mostly come in pairs where it's like, oh, there's 2 unique leader bands on here. There's 2 Metal Blade record bands on here. It's usually not the totality.
I think they
from
still
what I've observed.
I think they outsource a lot of their booking to like those agencies, and I think they just have like people that work directly with the label and are like, all right, so these are the bands you got signed that are trying to play shows. I'm on it.
Sure,
kinda.
yeah, it happens in a million different ways, and
Right.
every single person that has a different role in any of these positions
Well, you'll
like
see
does
the
things differently.
Tour
so-
packages for like when you're trying to get on a show or something, you'll see like a show pop up. Hey, are you looking for local support? And then it'll be like, well, no, they already have their own package. Or then you have the ones where it comes through and it is 2 bands and they're looking for local support or anything at every venue that they go to. So I guess
Yeah, it hurts my feelings when there's no local support on a show.
right.
It really does
It's just a
because
tour package. You're like, fuck.
it's like that just one. That's all it takes, just one local. I feel for those situations because it's like, damn, I know there's a band in this city that wanted to play with these bands because they love all these bands.
Right.
There's a band in this area that wanted to do that so bad.
And
sometimes
could've-
it's one of my bands, and most of the time it's other people who exist bands. But
Yeah.
it's something that I feel for because, like, damn, it just sucks. It just sucks to see, in my opinion, because that there's some hungry fucking low to mid-level like musician, like myself. I consider myself a low to mid-level musician
Mm-hmm.
who would be ecstatic, like enthusiastic, like the
Right.
reason I get up out of bed in the morning to go play a show with this type of roster and to
possibly
support
sell a lot
it.
of tickets too.
Yes, and to do our part in making the show as successful as it
'Cause
can
you're
be.
probably gonna know a lot of people that like these fucking bands that are coming, and just give them that extra nudge to come to the show.